association with Top Rank and on IFL TV worldwide. A few tickets still remaining to buy? A few. Snap them up. Who better to tell you a bit about the card than Mr. Essex himself, Lee? And Lee, before we talk about the fight specifically, though, what do MTK have planned for 2020 in general?
A hell of a lot of shows, a hell of a lot of good fights. We're at Brentwood this weekend, and then we're going to be got the Golden Contract in March the 20th at York Hall for the light heavies semi-finals, and then we're going to April. We've got April 18th at York Hall, Michael McKinson versus Louis Green headlining, Charlie Edwards, and a few more announcements to go on there. A big fight to be announced next week. 24th and 25th of April, we're looking at doing a double header show in Belfast with some big fights. A big fight being announced today, if you pull your finger out.
I don't pull my finger out. Tomorrow.
Yeah. So we've got loads of big cards coming up, and looking at in June, we're going to be doing the Golden Contract final on Sky Sports, which is going to be a big event. So we're just looking forward to a big year ahead.
Fantastic. Sounds very busy, but first things first, Saturday night. It's a show that seems to have a bit of everything, really. We've got 2 title fights, an English title eliminator, and then 2 unbeaten middleweight prospects putting their records on the line early in their career, plus a load of people trying to steal the show on the undercard. So tell us what stands out for you on this one.
You know what, I'll start from the ESPN card. Obviously we've got the Olympian Stephen Donnelly going to be making his debut on MTK London show before a big fight on May the 2nd against Troy Williamson, another MTK fighter for the IBF European title. Then we're going to go straight into Josh Adewale versus James Hawley, 5-0 versus 3-0. Both boys wanted proper fights, didn't want to fight journeyman, so they both said, look, get me a proper fight. So once I put it both to them, they're happy to fight. So it's a great fight, and the winner's going to go on and look at eliminators for southern areas and that, and the loser will come back. It's not the end of the world, but it's a great fight, and it's good to see both boys putting it all on the line. Then we're going to go into the English title eliminator for our boy Shaquille Day against Casey Benjamin. It's a great fight. It's 2 good boxers against each other. Really looking forward to that fight, and the winner will move on, obviously English title level. And then the southern area, Sam Gilley, we signed him in 2019, and Rod Julian did not stop going on how good he is. And I thought, Joe, what, shut up, Rod, will you? But listen, the proof's been in the pudding so far. Sam's been absolutely faultless so far, and he's got a chance to win the southern area. Spoke to Conor Ben on Tuesday, and he said Sam Gilley's probably his hardest spar he's ever had, and the sparring they've had is brilliant. So if he can bring it all on fight night, we're going to be in for an explosive fight, and we'll have a new southern area champion. Unfortunately, Felix Curtis couldn't be here today because he's got a few little things he had to sort out medical wise, but that's all sorted now, and just wouldn't get here due to the traffic. But then obviously the main event is obviously a massive fight for Danny Dignum, because he's number 10 in the world now with the WBO, and he's got an absolute animal in the opposite corner of 17-0, Alfredo Meli. Danny wins, Danny pushes on. Obviously it's a big fight, but Alfredo Meli is no easy fight, but Danny's obviously got a good amateur pedigree. He's trained hard with Kev Lilly, and he's ready to go. So it's a really top card. The ESPN card's a top card, and then we've got a lot of up and coming boys on the undercard. So it's going to be a good night of boxing. I'm really looking forward to it, and it's basically nearly a sellout. So there's a few tickets left with the boys. So if you're going to, if not, tune into IFL TV and ESPN in America.
Thanks very much, Lee. Let's start with those 2 unbeaten middles that Lee mentioned, who are bravely putting sort of everything, their reputations, their O's, which a lot of people think are precious, on the line very early in their career. The insults have been flying all week, actually. So Hawley, I think, was the latest to talk and called Josh useless. We'll start with Josh. Josh, I'll take a wild guess that you're going to disagree with that. So just tell us a bit about why you're useful and what you make of James.
You'll just have to see on Saturday night.
Oh, you gotta give us a bit more than that, Jesus Christ.
Come on, I expected a bit more than that.
I'm just not one to do all this talking, so
That's it.
yeah, that's it.
How do you win this fight?
Very convincing.
Points, knockout?
What weaknesses have you seen in James that you think you can exploit on the night? Like, you must have studied him by now, and I know you're very confident having spoken to you earlier in the week.
Yeah, I don't do all the study, and obviously my coach has had a look, and but yeah, from what I've seen, there's nothing that can trouble me. I don't think anyway.
And James, we'll hear from you now. I know you've been very
Talk, don't worry about that.
I mean, I know you've been quite open in the past about how perhaps you didn't train or prepare as well as you could have done for previous fights. How's this one been different?
This one's been different. I've been training with Mark Tibbs, world-class trainers, you know yourself. I've had all great sparring with Charlie Duffield, Andre Sterling, all top boys, all come forward fighters who can punch a lot harder than Josh, trust me. So anyway, like Lee said, I asked for the bigger fights. I didn't want to be boxing journeyman no more. Obviously, on paper it's a bigger fight. In theory, for me it's another walk in the park. And on Saturday you'll see the difference.
You've obviously studied each other. You probably watched Josh.
To be honest with you, I haven't watched Josh now because I believe a fighter's got to come and beat me. I shouldn't have to watch what I've got in front of me. So I believe he's got to have a game plan to come and beat me, because on the day I'm going to stick to my game plan, and trust me, you won't get near me.
Josh, any last word from you? Does that inspire you to talk anymore?
If he can box as good as he can talk, then he won't do too bad.
No matter, we'll see on Saturday. We'll see on Saturday.
Good stuff, boys.
Make sure you keep that same energy after the fight, innit?
Oh, you got no energy left. Are you struggling to make weight or something? You ain't drunk a bit of your water. What's going on?
Why are you stuttering?
Why are you stuttering?
Say it with your chest.
Drink some water. You overweight.
Say it with your chest.
You ain't ready for me. Trust me. You ain't ready.
Say it with your chest.
You've never boxed an elite fighter in your life. Ever.
You had 2 senior amateur fights and you won one and lost one. So
Wait,
like,
hold up 1 second. How far did you get in the championship? Did you ever get out of your home country?
yeah, I won on Catties a few
As a
times.
novice, stop lying.
Oh, whatever. I was in the
Guys, trust me, you're not ready for me.
I was in the
trust me.
leagues in 2018. Where was you?
2018, I was still
where
a youth.
Where was you?
Silly boy.
Where was you? You lost in Haringey.
I was youth. I was
you lost
youth.
in Haringey to Inder. You're dead.
I lost in Haringey, yeah, fair enough. I didn't train.
Just turn up Saturday, innit?
Trust me, I'll turn up. Make sure you turn up.
Just turn up Saturday.
Great stuff, boys. Enjoyed that. Thanks very much for your time. If you can pass the mics now, we're going to hear from Shaq Day. Perhaps one of the kings of the scene in Brentwood last year. He is unbeaten still. He's one of Barry Jones's favourites to watch, and he's already won the Southern Area welterweight crown. Now stepping up with an English title eliminator against Casey Benjamin. We'll start with Casey, actually, if that's okay. Casey, you got the mic there. You won the Midlands area title last time out. Is Shaq your biggest test? Is he another step up? And how will you react to any nerves that present themselves on the night?
I think technically, yeah, he's been my biggest test. Obviously, he's 13-0, but I don't think he's fought anyone like me yet. So I've had a few domestic fights at the moment, and I've proved in all of them that I'm capable of fighting at that level. So yeah.
I guess these sort of press conferences are almost a chance to sort of warn your opponent what's coming. What awaits Shaq in terms of your support network that's coming down to make some noise from Birmingham, presumably, and also what weaknesses of his can you exploit on the night?
Well, obviously I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, he looks fast, technical, so we'll just have to deal with that on the night.
Good stuff. And Shaq, over to you. Great to have you back. I know you were a bit frustrated at the end of last year with a minor injury. How eager are you simply to just get back under those lights and start fighting again? And how much have you enjoyed being back in camp?
I love being back in camp. I'm excited to get under the lights again, show everyone what the Black Mexican is all about. Prove that I am more than just an English and Southern area champ, whatever you want to call it. And I'll be a step above this after this fight, go from there, just shine bright again.
You have won the Southern area. This is an eliminator for the English. I guess we're sort of going up in sequence, and is it a question of just ticking off every single box on the way to the top?
Yeah, 100%. You've got to tick them all off to get the journey right, I believe in. I believe in doing the Southern English, British, European, and then going on from there. Everything's your oyster from the British, I believe.
Is Casey Benjamin your toughest test?
Every fight's a tough test, but I believe Adolphi's amateur pedigree wise, he's probably a tougher test, but Casey, we have to see what he brings on the night. That's all we can say.
Great stuff. Another excellent fight that to look forward to between two ambitious fighters. The Southern Area title vacated by Shaq is now up for grabs with Sam Gilley and Curtis Felix Jr. or Felix Curtis Jr. as you called him.
Yeah. My daughter.
Curtis Felix Jr. Curtis can't make it here today, as Lee has already mentioned. So we'll hear from Sam, and I guess you can slag him up as much as you want to. So, first of all, the obvious question is, what do you make of him not being here? Does that fill you with any great sort of anger or motivation or anything at all?
Nah, listen, I don't think too much into that. I mean, Lee said he's got some medical things he had to sort out, he had to sort something out. But if I was fighting on his show and they were saying like this, there is no way I wouldn't be here today. I'll be there and I'll be telling him I'm going to beat the shit out of you on Saturday night. But that is what I've been G'd up for. I've been looking forward to today, to seeing him, and he ain't here, so it is a bit of a pain, but...
Good stuff. And a spectacular knockout last time on the big stage at York Hall that really sort of caught fire on social media. First round demolition job. Are you expecting something similar against Curtis, because he's obviously boxed at a much higher level than that guy Arnoldo Solano, I think his name is?
Yeah, no, I'm not expecting the same thing. No, I'm expecting a hard fight. He can be elusive. He can I've watched him a bit. Obviously, Rod's watched him loads. We've got a plan, but I do believe I will break him down and I will get to him, because there's nothing he can bring that's going to bother me.
Lastly, fighting on another big stage, ESPN broadcast in the US, IFL TV worldwide. I think there was an interview earlier in the week which said you can't describe the excitement, but just have a go for us.
It's mad, honestly. Last time I done a press conference with you, I didn't even have a seat. Lee had to pull me up to the end of the table just and stick a little thing on the side to say who I was. And now I'm sat in the middle. Do you know what I mean? Talking about fighting for a title. It's nuts. I've wanted to do sort of things since I was 11. So, and that's why it was my first proper thing with a title. This is why I'm a bit like, he ain't it, but I'll get to see him tomorrow.
Any last message for him?
You get knocked out Saturday night, pal.
Plain and simple. Well, I think you did a good job of describing the excitement in the end. On to the main event. The WBO European middleweight champion Danny Dignum is here. His opponent, another unbeaten man, and Alfredo Meli, as Lee has also mentioned. Fly B, yeah, Fly B's problem. I thought it was with EasyJet.
Yeah.
Don't know much. Danny, there's been no disrespect between you two. You're both not that kind of guy, but a fight like this doesn't really need that kind of trash talk, does it?
No, a fight like this speaks for itself. I've never been one to trash talk or run anyone down or anything like that. For me, boxing is my job, and that's all it is, it's business. So there's no need to talk rubbish about anyone or disrespect anyone. I'm there to do my job on Saturday, and that's what I'm going to do.
You built a pretty big following now in Essex, and I guess, I mean, how much does defending a title that you won recently in your own backyard, massive TV platform, how much does that mean to you, and is there any negative about it? Is there any nerves that could play a part?
Obviously I get nervous in that because I'm in my home sort of town, I'm not far from here. I've sold a good ticket, I've sold over 300 tickets, so there's a bit of pressure, but I've got to use that pressure as my advantage. I've got to thrive on it, and you know, it's going to switch me on, and yeah, there's a lot of pressure, but in every fight now, at this stage of my career, every fight there's going to be pressure because, you know, I'm only 1 or 2 wins away from a big, massive fight. I mean, I've got to get Alfredo Meli out of the way, and then we can look on to other things.
Yeah, I guess world level is the logical next step after this, and you're already ranked number 10, as Lee mentioned. Alfredo Meli will be coming with his own ambitions, and he's proved himself. I think at Thaler he beat a very highly rated German fighter from Sauerlands. What have you made of studying him, and how do your styles match up? Because you're both incredibly skilled southpaws, it seems.
Yeah, listen, Alfredo Meli is a very, very good fighter. I know I'm in for the hardest fight of my career to date. I know he's going to be putting the pressure on. I just got to use my smart boxing skills and just get the win. I've just got to box smart. I know he's going to come. He's going to drag me into the trenches, but I'm prepared for that. I've been getting some world-class sparring. All southpaws, tall, short, come forward, box. I'm ready for anything that he's got to offer.
Fantastic. Well, that's a brilliant headline act to top a brilliant card, quite frankly. So we've heard from all the fighters now. If anyone has any questions from the floor, now is your chance to shine. Right. Okay. Well, we're going to have 2 face-offs for the 2 fights that are here, and then we'll be back here for the weigh-in, I believe, 1 PM on the scales tomorrow. So thanks very much for coming, and I hope you all enjoy the show on Saturday.